99.7 FM.
Thank you for keeping your dial locked on Joy 99.7 FM. It's Strong and Sassy Wednesday. And when you hear this tune, you definitely know what time it is. Well, last Wednesday, we began a conversation on working with Gen Zs, and we asked, difficult or just different? My guest, Sheila's the MBL candidate, writer Ida Lament, Zinette Isabella, who's BL candidate, legal researcher, they joined in. And it was an intriguing and interesting interaction. I appreciated that, they were comfortable enough to share their perspectives on things with me on the show. Now, today we're flipping the coin to ask the same question, but to, the millennials. It promises to be an exciting and interactive episode. So join in and share your thoughts with us. Our WhatsApp is 055 1111 997. And we're here till 8 p.m. Show's produced by Mirabel Johnson. We've got social media, Oliver and Nana Kweku making that possible. So check us out on our Facebook, on our YouTube, and on X as well. My name is Akorfa. I appreciate you for being here. Now today, I have assembled Millennial Avengers. I have Vida Assimeng-Kwakye, who's Human Resources Management Specialist, Ama Ablorde, who's Creative Director at Push Studios. Ladies, good evening. How are we doing today?
Good evening. I'm good.
Okay, I think I can hear you now. Initially, I wasn't hearing you very well.
Oh, okay.
Vida, say hello. Let me hear.
Hi.
Okay, please tilt the microphone a bit closer to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this good?
Some more. Let's say that again.
Hello.
Okay, we're good. Yes. Now, ladies, so what we're going to do is first off, we have some audios, right? So we picked a few pointers that Gen Z has raised when we had the conversation with them. But before we get there, I want us to start off by finding out, as millennials, okay, do we genuinely believe that when a Gen Z says, okay, so let me put it this way. What is your first thought, right? When you hear someone say these Gen Zs are difficult to work with? First thing that comes to mind.
I think old school, colo mentality. That's what comes to mind.
Okay.
When I hear, and usually it's older people who say that.
Okay.
And when I say old, I'm referring to millennials,
Yeah.
And I always think you just have colo mentality.
It's been a while I had cool.
Yeah.
Well, Vida, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's too much of a generalization because in my line of work, I've had experiences working with both millennials and Gen Zs, and their energies are different. The energy levels are different. So I don't think that saying generalizing that Gen Zs are all difficult. No, I don't agree. Yeah.
Right. Well, what is one thing a Gen Z does that makes you say, hey, in our time, like, this was not possible? Has anything like that crossed your mind?
Yes. One of the things I found surprising, I should say, is some of the Gen Zs don't even greet when they come to the office.
Oh, okay.
And in the corporate world, it's an unwritten code. Let me just put it that way. Because when you are entering a place and there are human beings around, you say hello. It's normal. But some of them will not even greet.
Ama.
I mean, for me, my A is because I'm impressed. Yes, I really like them. I'm not that far away from Gen Zs, The youngest millennial is 30 years old. The oldest millennial is 45. And the oldest Gen Z is 29 years old. So, and the youngest being 14. Sometimes when we talk about Gen Z, people always think of some really young person who's not their oldest. Okay, there are a group of them that already have their frontal lobe developed or almost complete. So let's not think that we're dealing with people who don't know anything. There was a period that they didn't know anything, just like we also didn't. But now they've had some experience, and they were born in the right time where knowledge is so easy accessible. There's a lot of information out there. You don't even have to try hard for information to reach you. So they know a lot at a faster pace and earlier in life than some of us did. So I find it impressive when I see them living it. Yeah, I started living some, but I think that if only I was born just a couple of years late, I would have just been a Gen Z, and but I still worry like a Gen Z.
Well, are millennials becoming the old generation without realizing it?
Yes. And I think it's a common thing, actually. It's a pattern, not only within generations, but with everything. Like, let's say in high school, okay, the Form 3s never really agree with Form 2s. They like Form 1s. Then the Form 2s don't like the Form 1s. When the Form 2s move to Form 3, they start to like the new Form 1s, and they have a problem with the Form 2s. So it's the same with generations. Always, the immediate ones, there's always this thing, this friction, between us. So I'm actually not surprised that we are always trying to be hard. Just a couple of years ago, the whole talk was about millennials. Millennials. I was not even prepared for the conversation to shift from millennials to Gen Z. I blinked one day, we were no longer talking about millennials. We were talking about Gen Zs, and in fact, it was millennials complaining as well, joining in the complaint. And I'm like, honestly, when they do that, I'm like, I can't wait for Gen Alpha to have the spotlight, because those babies, I'm betting on them. I was really hoping that my children would be Gen Alpha, but since they didn't come, now I know that my kids are going to be Gen Beta. So because my kids are going to be Gen Beta, they'll be the awesome source of generation.
No, but you know the thing about millennials gradually also becoming, quotes, the older generation. I think I saw a tweet some time back where someone was saying they are surprised at themselves that they realized that they started behaving like their parents, because I think someone came into their space and did not say good morning or anything. They didn't say it out loud, but they thought it in their head. I'm like, yo, this is me. Because I will not tell you to your face, like, why would you not say good morning as like a pleasantry or whatever? But I'm thinking in my mind, but this is me, who back in the day, you go somewhere and you greet someone and they don't respond, and you're in your head, you're like, oh, maybe they mean shall be. But then your parents will say, go ahead, just greet them. If they won't respond, that's your problem. So I caught myself, I'm like, girl, since when are you the one complaining? But, you know, just as you're saying, we're all picking from these things, and it will reflect one way or the other. But let's come to how we're having today's conversation as well, where the Gen Zers mentioned that there's this whole misconception about them and stuff like that. So we'll play that audio, and then I'd like you to share your thoughts on that one. Okay, so here we go.
I have an issue with all these stories shared online about Gen Z work ethics and Gen Z culture in workplaces and stuff. I think most of them are very exaggerated. So they come online, we are like, they've created a caricature of Gen Zs, like we are these like people that don't succumb to authority. We like to do whatever we want. We're lazy and all of that. So people create all sorts of stories, don't give like as much detail, or don't give like necessary details. They put it online, and then millennials just jump on it.
Not millennials, come on.
Because we're asking you important questions right now, and all these details
I'm not there. Listen, I said not millennials because you should see the face they were making when they were saying.
I saw the video. I saw the video on Facebook.
I'm like, guys, I'm a millennial. What are you doing? Anyways, but it was a fun conversation, and it gave me an inkling into how they think, and just as you're saying, they're not taking everything lying down. They're standing for what they believe in and stuff like that. But what do you say to this audio that we just played? Because they believe that they're bold, they're audacious for sure, but they feel that they're misconstrued. Some people will come up and create certain stories, and the people are like, oh yeah, that's a Gen Z in our office. A Gen Z said this to the boss. Maybe the Gen Z probably didn't say that word, didn't say anything of that sort. But because they are hoping that because they can't say it, that Gen Z will then go ahead and say it for them. What do you say to this?
Yeah, I agree with her that there's a lot of exaggeration on Gen Z behavior, because it looks like it's fun. It's fun to make fun of Gen Zs, to claim a Gen Z in your office or your establishment is doing something untoward. Like it's fun to have a story as well. While I agree that some of them do things that genuinely is shocking. It's not as common as we've made it seem, especially in our environment, because yes, they've been dealt an easier hand growing up. Take for example the greeting. I grew up at a time where from school to church to home, you were taught that you have to greet. Like, I will come back from school, when I see 10 people there and I know that, I'll mention everybody's name. They say, okay, good morning. Brakofi, good morning. I greet everybody. And then they tell me, you can just say one good morning to cover everybody. And you were told that you needed to greet in order to establish a cordial relationship.
Absolutely.
First place I heard the word cordial relationship was in religious and moral education class, where we were taught that greetings starts a cordial relationship with somebody. I'm not sure what the curriculum is right now in school, but I think there are things that we were taught in primary school that they were not taught. The curriculum had changed. So there were not so much emphasis on things that we used to have. They have access to so much information at a faster pace, like I said before. So we are looking past a lot of things that our parents didn't excuse. They gave us that. So they react to us differently, which should be expected, that their socialization will be different to an extent from us. But at the end of the day, they're still Africans. Things it's not that bad yet. We still have some,
fingers crossed,
things. We still have some cultural values that we are still upholding in homes. So no matter how shocking a Gen Z's behavior can be, it's still guarded. It's not out of touch
because that's true, because I think Zenat mentioned that context matters, in the sense that when you pick a Gen Z from the United States, for example, some of the wild things they will do, it's not something that a Gen Z in Ghana or Africa will do. So and so I think she was blaming the research that sometimes they do. They pick,
it's based on the West
exactly. Then they just plaster it all over the place,
like they've been doing all along.
Yes. So Vida, what would you say to this one too?
I think that thought of Gen Zs being difficult and putting them in that box, I highly disagree, because I feel that after everything they are human, and everyone has a background from which they are coming from. And when you come to the corporate space, people have different temperaments, so you don't expect one person to behave a certain way and then the other person does the same. The only difference that will make is that the corporate environment has rules, and as HR people, we are organizations have rules in the workplace that should help to set up that culture. Every organization has that work culture or organizational culture. So I don't think that Gen Z's is gotten that bad. I don't think so.
Okay.
I believe that with guidance, and making them feel heard and creating that enabling environment will help them to speak. I mean, when they share an opinion, it shouldn't be, they shouldn't be afraid to talk. They shouldn't be afraid to be themselves, because when they are who they are, productivity, for could go high. So I would rather have a Gen Z speak up and be bold about it, than be shut down and not, we're not helping matters when we go that route. So that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, so I want us to do something on this one. So there's a conversation, the one we had, the we're not too keen on staying too long at a workspace and all of that. So we're asking, does that mean this is their way of saying that they want to be flexible enough, or they don't want to be accountable?
I love that for them. I really do. I think sometimes the older generation has concerns or has a problem with them because it's like they have the audacity they didn't have, older people didn't have, and also maybe it's also reeks of some level of jealousy. Like, damn, these children are doing things I wouldn't have dared do. I didn't think I could get away with it, so I couldn't do it, and they are just doing it, and they are moving on. Like, they're actually doing well. Like, you can't just threaten them. The world right now, you cannot just say I'm sucking you think the worst is going to happen to the person. No, just one viral video and their life could change like this. And so we live in a not just them, it's for all of us in the world, by the way, but because they are the youngest, we tend to think that they are the only ones with the spotlight. But no, for as long as you live, you can have a shot at it, which is something that still the older people haven't realized. But the Gen Zs have realized that they have only one life to live. They want to experience everything. And before they got here, the millennials had been ringing in YOLO, you only live once.
Yeah.
They heard it before it got to their 10. So they've been prepared. We've prepared them for it, coupled with the pandemic that we went through, which shook everyone, made you realize how fragile life is. Like, it's so fragile, you could just lose it. So now you live and you're like, okay, do I actually have to keep doing this till when? Even I have started asking myself the same question. Like, now I'm like, sometimes you go to school because you studied to be a nurse. The mindset is that you're supposed to be a nurse until retirement. No, who said that? You could decide after 10 years, I want to try something else and go in a completely different direction. But sometimes you wouldn't know that's possible. Yeah. It has to dawn on you. You have to see somebody doing it. So I'm very happy that Gen Zs realize we don't have to tie ourselves here for that long. They just need to realize that there has to be a plan. Maybe to build a corporate career, decide I have to be here for 2 years or 3 years. And for a reasonable company, it's okay if somebody gives you 2 years of their life. It's okay. Maybe the HR will disagree with me, but
What do you think is it's something that millennials are saying, that is it wisdom or lack of commitment on the part of Gen Zers if they choose to go this path?
I don't think it's a lack of commitment, because when you are recruiting for a position, I mean, as an HR person, your dream is that, okay, I'll fill this position and the person will work and work and work. Yes, so we'll do everything to retain an employee. Okay, but the Gen Zs, what I have come to realize is that they like to explore. Okay, and when they stay in a place that is not harnessing their potential, they tend to become stale, and they don't like that staleness.
I'm Gen Z in spirit.
They don't like staleness, So I think that as a corporate, like, the corporate world has to.
No wonder I'm close to Gen Z. Like, my
the
age and the oldest.
Has to adjust, right?
Adjust to accommodate them, because I agree, they have a lot of energy. I love working with Gen Zs. They have a lot of energy, and they have 1,000 and 1,000,000 ideas of how we can do things differently. I love that. I also think that they need to be guided. And that is not to say they shouldn't explore. But when we guide them to do what the ideas they have, and then assign tasks to them that challenges their thinking, that helps them to think outside the box, it makes them improve. So I believe that with guidance, and the workspace has become very flexible. As my sister said, COVID, whoever thought?
The time will come where people get to work from home.
I worked from home for how many years? I worked from home.
Okay.
And even when your laptop was faulty, you had to ask permission from the mission director before you get to the compound. The IT folks will come, take it, then they'll bring you a new computer. Then you go home. So we can manage things. Things have changed. The world has evolved. So the corporate world, we have to shift from the posture of 8 to 5, 9 to 5. We have to move away from that. Okay, there should be flexible work schedules around the world. I know people who are living in Ghana, they are working for organizations in America, remote work. All these things are possible because times have changed.
Maybe Gen Zs might not be the ones to do it, but I'm hoping Gen Alpha will get to the point where the working environment and system shifts further to accommodate different people, particularly mothers, women who have kids. They're the primary caregivers, yet you're expecting her to work like a man who is not a primary caregiver. Yes, he has a family, he has to support, but you can't expect the woman who has to raise future generations for our society to be available 9 to 5 like a single woman or a single man or a man who's not a primary caregiver. So I'm hoping that, I don't think Gen Z will get that, but I'm hoping Gen Alpha will get us there. But you see, they're having to guide Gen Z to, I think that nature will guide them. They're going to get to that point where they're going to change. They'll be forced
to change their
make a commitment. Okay, but I'm happy that they're using this period, because this period, actually, your 20s are great for you to be adventurous, to try your hands on so many things, and that's why I'm happy that they are using it well in that sense. As they get older, in a few more years, nature will force them. They'll have to pick a side. They'll have to make a commitment. They'll have to be more conscious about their choices when it comes to their career and other things. So for now, it's okay, because the time is going to come.
Yeah, that's true.
So until then, please, they should enjoy themselves. They only live once, so they only have this period once. I wish when it was our time, there were people talking about us in this way, so that we could have, I think I did something with mine, but I would have done it extra. I would have put in even more.
I understand. Well, it's 7:37 right here on Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM. We're having the second part of our conversation on working with Gen Zs. We're finding out if they're entitled, difficult, or just different. And joining me in studio is Vida Assimeng-Kwakye, who's Human Resources Management Specialist. I've got Ama Ablorde here, who's Creative Director at Post Studio. So we're hoping that you could also join in the conversation, share your thoughts with us. Our WhatsApp is live. It is active. It's 055 1111 997. As the show progresses as well, we'll also get to activate the phone lines for you to join in the conversation. Now, I touched on the silent treatment aspect of a pointer that one of our Gen Zers shared, and I'd like to play that audio so we can speak to that. Okay.
There should be some form of emotional regulation there.
Yeah.
Okay, you can correct me without yelling. You don't have to shout. You can calmly tell me, I don't like what you submitted, change this, change that. You don't have to shout. So now the respect comes in when you retaliate and it looks like you're not respectful. But I'm just telling you that you can say this and you can say that. You don't necessarily have to be shouting, or you don't have to be saucy about it. Then your boss is giving you a silent treatment. For what's this?
That's a very good question. What is this? So yeah, ladies, I actually didn't know that some bosses gave silent treatment. Or maybe I have experienced it without noticing. But I mean, I'm shocked because, well, there are some bosses.
Yeah.
Back at where I used. Yeah, I think so. But you see, as a millennial, like, it's so sure because you feel like your job
like that. You're supposed to fear authority, fear older people, fear your bosses.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it is why a lot of corporate institutions now have the first name policies in their companies to, balance things so that people can easily approachable and all. But you see, like I said, there's a lot of information now. That includes information on mental health and the importance of it. So a lot of us are aware. In the last couple of years, some of the popular therapy words that are out there: narcissism, self-regulation, overstimulation, nervous system regulation. These things have become everyday words. Previously, they weren't. You have to be before a a professional to hear it. You need to be a student of that field to know these things. But it's everywhere now, which means we become more conscious of it. So you know that we want different. But most older people are still used to the sorry to say, typical African leadership style of you need to be scary. You need to be unapproachable. You know, you can panic. Why should a boss think that you can do silent treatment? Shouldn't there be effective communication in the workplace? Because if you don't communicate effectively, how would you be able to get results from the staff?
Yeah.
HR. Yeah. Like they say HR, you only protect the company.
And not the employee.
Protect everybody.
So what would you do about this without you making it look like, this Gen Z
I'll play
people?
another audio and then you come to HR again. I promise you. But yeah, let me hear from you, Vida. What do you think?
You know, silent treatment from a boss to an employee, I think it's horrible. It's awful. It's a downright no for me, because the Labor Act, as we know it, sections 8 and 9 speaks to the duties and rights of an employer, and in there's a portion that says that you open channels of communication. So communication in the corporate world is important. If you are not telling, if the employee has done something that is not right, or you gave them an assignment and they did not do it the way you wanted, talk. Talk. And let them know that, okay, I wanted you to do it this way, you did. But if you give the person silent treatment, how are they supposed to know what you're thinking? So on that score, no. Silent treatment, no. I believe that there's a way you can correct people's behavior, you can correct the work they do without silent treatment, and also not screaming your lungs out. Really, there's a way you talk to people. You listen to understand, okay, and not listen to respond. And all these things, the behaviors that we are exhibiting around us, it's going to tell on them. Some of them will pick a thing or two, you see, and then the cycle keeps going on. So why don't you break the cycle? Speak to them, not in a condescending tone, but tell them that, look, I needed you to do this. You didn't do it that way. You could even go ahead and ask them, what was the thought process that went into what you did? Okay, for all you know, the instruction you gave the person wasn't too clear, or their understanding of the instruction you gave was not what you meant. So communication, everywhere it's communication. You see, so silent treatment is a downright no for me. And if you do that, well, I don't want to be too legalistic, but you are breaching the labor laws.
So then let me add this one too. So with bosses that shout at subordinates, should we tell HR about, when we tell HR how is it looking like? Because we know for a fact that it doesn't feel like HR is safe for us to want to go there and go like, oh, this is what happened with my boss, da 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 da. How am I guaranteed that this will not come back to bite me?
Okay, so one thing I always tell employees: document. Okay, when your boss gives you an instruction, we have a team meeting, do this, do that. When you get to your desk, send your boss a nice cute email. Oh, per our meeting, my understanding is that I'm supposed to do A, B, C, X. Okay? Yeah. Then you send it to your boss. When your boss replies, or if they reply, if you don't get a response from them, you can go back to them and say, oh, say I sent you this, just to confirm so that we proceed. We are on, So if at that point, that documentation you did, it's a record.
Okay.
You see. So when your boss comes to scream at you, shout at you, which is even wrong in the workspace, because it's not an enabling environment for people to thrive. You don't go about shouting and screaming your lungs out on employees because, you know,
you're the boss.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong. So I tell employees, don't wait for it to happen twice. When there's a problem, come to HR. Or if the person screams at you, you stay calm. And then you like when everything is done, you go back and say, send an email. Me, I tell people document because he said, she said, you and I were not there. Your baby who said, Okayana wanka. Okay, unless of course there are witnesses around.
Okay.
Or probably your boss has gained that bad reputation and people know that it's not here. But otherwise, I'll tell you document. So if they shout at you, send them an email. Say you find the behavior rather unfortunate because ABC that happened, and this is the instruction they gave you, and this is what you did. So if you did contrary to what they wanted you to do, you thought there could have been a better way to respond, you know. So I think that people should trust HR, and I believe HR also has a role to play.
Please say that one again.
HR has a huge role to play.
Okay.
Because we have to make the working and we have to help to make the working environment an enabling place for people to thrive. Okay, if bosses are doing things that are not right, we should be able to talk to them and, you know, resolve the issues. On the other hand, employees also have to be teachable. But what I tell people all the time, document. See, we say in our parlance, book no lie. Document it. It's record. So if there's any investigation going on that, Ajo Masa did this, Masa did that,
Okay.
the record is where we will start from.
Okay.
And the bosses too, please make room for people to make mistakes. It's okay for people to make mistakes. Be accommodative, because the way you correct the people, the way you tell them when they do wrong, it will play a huge role in building or breaking their confidence, you see. So I don't think that this silent treatment, and HR has a role to play. HR should live up to expectation and help the environment to thrive. The employees and the bosses and everyone to have a role to play. So I believe that when we all do our bit, the workplace will be less toxic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you think it's disrespectful when a young employee questions a boss or challenges an established way of doing things?
I don't think so. But the posture matters. The posture, okay? The body language, the tone. You see, you can insult people not by even raising your voice. Your body language alone, when someone is talking to you, or you are asking a question, or you want to make a statement, the tone matters.
Okay.
You know, how you pick your words. I'm not saying walk on eggshells, no. But there's a way you can ask a question for clarity, or probably let the conversation take a paradigm shift without being disrespectful.
But you know, I think there could still be an issue if the older generation, who's the boss, is not open to understanding that this person is talking to me assertively and not arrogantly. Because you find that a lot of older generation tend to misconstrue
Assertive
as being
Yeah.
assertive as you being arrogant.
Arrogant, yeah.
You're not
That's
speaking
true.
well, but you are just trying to rule out unnecessary please. But you're putting your case across. And also you're trying to actually be a professional, but in their mind you are a kid.
Child.
But you're trying to be professional by being direct in sending the message tactfully.
Yes.
But then they still consider it as you crossing a line or being arrogant, because that person is, like I said earlier, color mentality hasn't opened their mind to the fact that actually I have been communicating wrongly all my life, because I've been raised to
think this way,
talk
yeah.
with my head bowed. I can't look my elder in the eye. I can't communicate in a certain way. So you find a younger person doing that, and you just automatically assume this is wrong.
Yeah.
They're doing what you are not able to do. You were never able to do. Like I said, sometimes it's jealousy.
Yeah.
And also you are questioning their audacity. But you look at it and they're not even thinking, I'm just going to be audacious. They're not even thinking of audacity whilst doing that.
Yeah.
They are just thinking this is how a well-regulated human should put a case across. And if you look at it without such judgmental lens, you realize they're actually right. No,
But
this boss sometimes will be okay with their child.
That's the point, because some of them, just as you're saying, if they're not open, just as you mentioned, are not open to learn new things, to read, to learn and relearn. So you have this whole hostile work environment happening, because then you are afraid of your boss. Like, I mean, it's my boss, so I should be afraid. Because it got to a point, even when my boss is smiling at me, I'm worried, because I'm like, why are you smiling at me?
Yeah.
So my interaction with you is a bit guarded, because I don't know if I am overstepping or So walking on eggshells, basically. I love that you mentioned that it has to be tactful and we have to document. So moving forward, anybody who stressed me, I'll document. But this one is a very big conversation, and I want us to share our thoughts on this one.
I was working in a very big bank. It's a transnational bank. So I was working in one of their branches in Ghana. Now, I'm coming from uni, very idealistic. I'm thinking like everybody knows their boundaries. Everybody is like educated and trained about what's proper and what's improper. So you can see me. Like, I don't want to go into details, but like I go to work, and then somebody, like one of my colleagues then, would often tell me how he wants me.
Okay.
I'm smiling about it, but usually like when I talk about it, I get very pissed. He'll tell me how much he wants me, and then I would push back, because I'm a very assertive person. Like, if I don't like something, I would make you know. Now you'd push back. First it came across as if I didn't mean it, so like he would try some more. I'd push back and he still do it. I'll push back and I'll go like, oh, I'll tell HR, and everybody says, where's HR? Because there was a branch. There's no HR. Who's the HR? You have to go and tell the manager. Right? So it got so bad that there were times he would tell me, I will chop you. I will chop. Like, I'm not even joking. I don't know why I'm smiling. I'm laughing about it, because it's a very touchy thing for me. He would tell me, I'll chop you. Now, I'm very active on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter and you search Google, I've made a number of tweets about Google because of like that era, that time of my life. So you'd complain, and then one thing that was very shocking, older or millennial women in office spaces enable such behavior so much. You would complain, and the people you're expecting to like stand up for you because you should understand what I'm going through and how uncomfortable this is making me will tell you, oh, Google, oh, like, just like play along. He's just joking. No, he's not joking. Like, you shouldn't be telling me such things.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in my generation, but fair, I'm sure it's the older ones. I'm very sure it's the older millennials who are doing that, and they've done to even as the younger ones. I'm telling you the truth. You see what she said? Very typical, like I said. And the words she was using, I was just here, clock it. Go. Boundaries. You know, they don't people please. But we, oh my God.
Yeah.
We were, I think we were the last batch of people pleasers and weak boundary holders. We were the last batch. So I'm glad that we know that the future generation is healed of that. Because many times, men in our society would do such inappropriate things, and the women would also, you know, enable it. Then they find themselves in a Western society where these things, they can't get away with it. Then they find themselves in trouble. Currently, Pokoli, the Nigerian musician, is in trouble in the UK with sexual assault and harassment charges. And the commentary online, when you hear it from somebody who's clearly older, you see them trying to make excuses. Yes, he's not been proven guilty yet, but your choice of words makes us know where you're leaning towards already. So you need to be very careful. So I'm not surprised she's saying that. I'm just disappointed that, unfortunately, the generation that I'm part of, but I'm Gen Z. Look, I spend a lot of time with my Gen Z nieces and nephews. So I guess that's why it's robbed of me like this. I get them so well, and I encourage that behavior in them, because unfortunately I've also been in that position where somebody says something inappropriate to me and I've not been able to voice out my displeasure. I rather think I should manage myself,
because you
and
don't
get
want it
out
to be
of there
awkward.
safely.
Yeah.
Just manage it. You don't want to step on the wrong foot. You don't want to offend them. Where I'm concerned about embarrassing them. I was so concerned about embarrassing somebody who's doing something bad to me. I'm thinking of, I don't want to embarrass you, so I'll just pretend you're not doing it and count my time and quickly leave here. And
Which
when
is
I
not
think
supposed
about
to
it,
be,
it's like, you know me now, people pleasing
People
and boundaries,
pleasing,
since last year.
Yeah.
And it gets exhausting. That's why I think that a lot of millennials, we are suffering burnout. We are getting very exhausted because we are seeing the life Gen Zs and younger are living, and we didn't get it. It's exhausting. It's not easy. It's like we're trying to still safeguard these toxic patterns of life. We are some are still busy holding on to it, sort of learning the new way of doing it. They're still, and it's exhausting. If you don't stop now, you'll burn out too, and you'll be so upset with yourself that you allowed it for so long. I'm sorry, young lady, that you went through that. It's still not too late to call the person out.
I was so shocked. And then the choice of words, while he kept saying the thing to her, and now I will chop you and all that.
What is that? So my question is, I was quite intrigued by the comments that the colleagues made, that where is HR?
Yeah.
Okay, so even if HR was not present in the office, there's someone in charge, the manager. So what I want to encourage all these Gen Zs and every other person, sexual harassment in the corporate space and anywhere, it's a crime. It's wrong. So don't wait for the person to even clamp you down. At the first move, because these things, there's something in law we call intent. The intent is premeditated. For someone to come boldly to you and say, I will chop you, God forbid, then it's premeditated. So when anything of the sort, if anybody makes advances at you, because the workplace, there's sexual harassment policy.
But there are concerns about being victimized. I can just imagine,
because when they said, culture where's HR, and I think that's when she went on the outlet of using Twitter, because that's when she thought she could express herself. Because then again, she's there and this is happening with her or to her. She doesn't, because people will make you feel othered when you voice out some of these things. And just as Ama mentioned, you don't want to be the center of attention for something like this.
That the hardest part is how your colleagues would turn on you. I don't know what the culture is now in high school, but back in high school, you were termed a chuka for actually doing the right thing. For doing the right thing. You are a snitch. You are a chuka, and everybody alienates you, and you are the bad person. So you are in a work environment. You go and report this person, this guy who, and usually I want to believe that people like that, they are like the social butterfly. Everybody likes them. So you do this, they get into trouble, and now their favorite person is in trouble because of you. And everybody hates you now. Oh, so I go and I will say.
They will trivialize your experience there and
there.
I
don't allow anybody to trivialize the situation.
It's wrong. We have a lot of work to do. You see, in just the last couple of months, the number of sexual harassment and assault cases coming out from the senior high schools for younger, still Gen Z still suffering this. So and when these things come out, the commentary on social media is
It
so
scares
concerning.
me.
You realize, hey, we have a long way to go.
Yes. And you realize the people
They still
forgive my
cannot.
French.
They
Like people are sick.
Yeah,
because
they still cannot.
how can you condone sexual harassment? Like, how can you condone it?
Also because I think so many people don't know what constitutes sexual harassment. So someone will pass a comment about your body at work and stuff like that. And when you call the attention to it, then they are shocked.
They're shocked. Yeah.
Because they don't understand why you're calling. I'm like, but why do you think this is okay?
Yeah.
So HR, where are we starting the education
And
from?
then we
I
have
think
the people who think that you are just trying to bring in Western culture. In our culture, it has always been cool. Like the member of parliament, they'll tell you it's our culture. We've always said this jokingly.
No.
I'm
not
just joking
supposed
with
to
you.
be
I'm
a
just
joke.
kidding.
Times
But
have
people have
evolved.
said a lot of mean things through jokes and sarcasm, but they mean it.
they mean it.
You know, and I've always told people that, you see, you wait when you get into trouble. And Oben who said there are laws in the country.
Yeah.
Would you go ahead and do what you want? When you get into trouble, when you get someone who will take you on, who will be bold enough to report and make sure they go through the process, then you know that there are laws. So I think as a society, we have to shift away from this. It has to stop. I'm a person with disability, and I've always said that there are some elders in the society who have attempted to molest me before. You know, knowing very well, say, the person stamped on my right leg. That's where I have the issue. You see, so and they'll be like, hey, Ama, you for men, can't you be? Don't tell anybody. I said no. I told my dad. You see, so until we start making sure, at the first attempt, don't let it fester. At the first attempt, tell them no, I don't like that.
But you see, I think we need to embolden people.
Yes.
That's the point.
Because
Yeah.
it's easy to say at the first attempt, do so. But now imagine, even when the person is the most vocal of Gen Zs, but you're coming from a home with very limited means.
Yeah.
You're probably the first person to get
This opportunity,
university education. Then you get a job in an establishment. Your entire family
Is
sees you
relying
doing
on
things
you.
they've never
Yeah.
done. They're riding on you. And for people coming from such background, if you're not fortunate, the lack of resources at home would influence how your parents raise you, because they are constantly in fear. So they tell you,
Understand.
please manage yourself, carry yourself well, be careful, or look at me.
Come
I
and
don't
tell them
have
something, you're
marriages
like,
to
oh,
help
and
you.
actually-
Don't get into trouble. Just
Yes.
hold yourself like this. So you are raised and you're already timid. You always think that because of who you are, people can do a lot to you and get away with it. So just manage it, and just manage it so they don't get to second stage of causing you harm. You know, just tolerate it. Don't. So for somebody like that, how is a person supposed to just on the first attempt
Be bold to
be bold
yeah.
and walk in there? How
we have to-
how
we have to-
convenient are a lot of corporate institutions. I think that usually when
lots
HR
of- yeah.
when HR staff, when you guys are talking, you talk from a point of a properly established corporate institution. But let's face it, there are a lot of one-man businesses. I have a one-man
Yeah.
business, but luckily enough, I'm a woman. I'm not saying that women don't take advantage of people today, do. But I want to believe I've not done so to anybody. That none of them will come out to say so.
Yeah.
I think my team would consider me a great person if I do say so myself. But but you are talking like, every establishment has a whole HR department with
to
staff
know
and
the
all
do's
that
and
to
don'ts.
go. A lot of the places, the whole report goes to one person. There's a long chain of
Yes.
command, and
probably that person is the one who is
Who
in
is
the
the
doing
person
it
doing the thing to you.
exactly.
You are going to
Yes.
report to the person doing the thing.
I understand. Okay, I understand, and I've been there before. I understand. But what I can also say, as a society, I think we have done ourselves wrong, and that thing has eaten deep into the fabric of our society. It's high time we change the narrative. It's high time. harassing people sexually, it's not right. It's never right. It has never been right. Okay, and we should encourage because when they say, oh, these Gen Z, they are arrogant, they are not arrogant, and they have to speak up.
You know why I think that sexual harassment is grave on its own? There are so many instances that we let slide, but also equally damaging. Like she said, the silent treatment. You know, that's emotional abuse.
Yes.
You are. Sometimes you're in a company and then your boss has alienated you.
Yep.
Everybody knows boss is not okay with you, so nobody wants to talk to you either because they don't want to be on the boss's.
Other
And
side,
that's damaging, equally damaging. We usually want to leave it till it's something as huge as sexual harassment to make a big deal of. But that is equally really bad. Or being in a place you've served your purpose, you've done, you actually qualified to be promoted. But they're thinking, oh, you are young, you are a small person, you are just Gen Z. These people, they're not thinking of the qualifications and everything. But some of these people are very, very smart. On that note, Akorfa, please, today is one of my favorite niece's birthday.
Go ahead and wish it.
Donetta Dodo. She's a final year student, computer science at Legon. She is so smart. She's a Gen Z. And one of the things I'm most proud of is her intellect. She's a math whiz. Like, she excels at math in a way that I shiver. Sally, I love you so much, and I know you know this.
Yes. Happy birthday, Sally.
Hey, happy birthday, Sally. Final one before we go. If you had the opportunity to give one piece of advice to a Gen Z, what would you say? Very quickly,
Please,
by the way.
I'm impressed with everything that the older people don't like about you. I love it. Keep going at it. Don't be afraid. In a few years' time, nature would cause you to want to panic, but don't panic. Do not panic when that time comes. You are going to be fine. Just keep your eyes on the prize. Always believe that there's something great. Who you are right now is worth it. Just keep learning. Be open to learning more. Don't lose assertiveness. Still have the strong, firm boundaries. Do not people please. Don't kowtow to them. I beg you. You would hate yourself if you do.
Vida.
Yeah, so I also encourage them to, like my sister said, be teachable. Explore, not get too comfortable. You know, don't stay in your comfort zone. Explore, learn new things, you know. But of course, keep your eye on the ball, okay? Look to do great things. Be teachable. Be teachable. Stay teachable. And respect people's boundaries so that they will also respect your boundaries. And when something wrong happens, speak up.
And document it.
Document it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me. Vida Assimeng-Kwakye, who's Human Resources Management Specialist. Ama Ablorde, Creative Director at Push Studios. We appreciate you for coming in. This has been an exciting and insightful conversation. I really loved every bit of it. And also to the production team, Mirabel Johnson, Oliver Fanyo, and Anna Kwikwimisa. Also, shout out going out to Kofi Hayford, by the way. Kofi, if I don't mention him as part of the production team for today's show, I'll have a problem. But he's coming right after us with the Overdrive. My name is Akorfa. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll be back same time next Wednesday.